Ladies and gentlemen, this is so good, man. The Better Call Saul podcast. My name is Brian. And with me, as always, my good friend Dave. Dave, how's it going, my friend?
It's going.
Got a new computer?
Pretty excited about it.
New Mac?
That's right. Got me a souped up Mac Mini from 2012.
Nice.
Yeah. Apparently that's the fastest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That long ago?
Yeah. And the processors were soldered to the motherboard after that or some shit. I don't know. There's a lot of technical stuff involved. I just did a lot of reviews and went with that one and got it off of eBay because I trust eBay.
Awesome.
Like a fool.
Okay, cool. Dave and I also host the Nothing Important podcast along with our third Mike, Jeff, where we talk to people more successful and famous than we will ever be. You can find that on iTunes or nothingimportantpodcast.com. Also, be sure to check out A Plumbus Among Us, the Rickest Rick and Morty podcast. That is on iTunes. Should be on Stitcher by the time anybody hears this. And also, the TV Time app. TV Time, make sure to download it for your smartphone. You can find It's All Goodman there. You can find A Plumbus Among Us, and you can chat, converse, react, vote, meme, and like other folks with the same interests that you have.
You can just do stuff.
You can do stuff. It's awesome. Make sure to go to your, whatever store for whatever phone you have, the TV Time app. Join millions of TV enthusiasts such as yourself.
I like how you said join.
Join
It's
us. It's like that song. Like, I like adding syllables where there shouldn't be extra syllables. It's like that song where it's like more than diamonds, more than gold. Like he has like an extra syllable in there. I can't gold. He like adds a W in gold. It's like he spells it GOWLD. Gold.
Well, some people say like knowing.
Now
that's an unknown.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I might add many more syllables before the night is over. So, Dave, let's get rocking. This is Better Call Saul, episode 307. It is titled
Expenses.
Yeah, man. All right, let's jump into it. So, show opens. Jimmy's standing there at a wall. It looks a lot like a lineup wall.
That's what I thought at first. Yeah.
Obviously, the vocal visage they are going for.
Yes.
I don't even know if visage is a word, but like it is now.
Sure.
Sounds right,
Visage?
Right?
I always say visage.
I've never once heard you say visage, and I've known you
How
for like
did
30
V
years.
for Vendetta say it?
How would what?
How did V for Vendetta say it?
I don't know.
I think if ever there's a V word, I go to the monologue from the opening of V for Vendetta.
Okay. Well, it's not really a lineup wall. It's the Albuquerque Parks Department, and Van pulls up. You know, all the people that eventually joined Jimmy on the wall are waiting there. Van pulls up. They have Jimmy sign a waiver for trash pickup, and Jimmy, being the lawyer that he is, wants to read the entire thing first, much to the chagrin of the extremely unimpressed supervisor.
Well, Jimmy just doesn't want a human centipede situation.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, that's such a lawyer thing to do. It's funny that they put him first and made everybody wait. Everybody's all impatient.
Yeah, come on, like let's get this over with. Point of the scene is it must be his community service.
Yeah, as soon as the van pulled up, that's what I figured. He's got to do his community service. He's gonna go pick up trash along the freeway because that seems to be the popular mode of community service.
Almost had to do that once. I got arrested on spring break, and I got arrested on spring break, spent the night in jail. I've talked about it before, but the options I was actually given when I was being booked into the jail, they said, you don't have to pay any money as long as you promise to come back tomorrow and pick up trash along Daytona Beach for like 3 hours or something ridiculous like that. And I said, no, because to be honest, officer, I plan on drinking tomorrow as well. And I had brought $200 extra in case I got arrested or a fine. So I already had this like put away. So I just gave him the $100, spent the night in jail, and was out the next morning. So,
there you go.
Yeah, planning ahead.
Plan ahead, man. If you know you're going to commit shenanigans, you should have a plan.
Hey, I know what kind of person I am. I was just being prepared. That's all.
I was trying to think of some stretch of symbolism for the fact that they're under the overpass. Couldn't think of anything.
Did a bus go by? Because then he could have been like thrown under the bus.
Oh no! But I did notice that the banana peel slips out of his thing, like slipping Jimmy.
Well, pretty much he's there. He's doing the community service. He's supposed to be there for 4 hours, but he keeps taking phone calls for his now, I guess,
right,
impromptu TV
business venture. We'll say,
yeah, Saul Goodman Productions,
SGP.
Mm-hmm. I like some of the items he picked up too. Like he picked up a tie.
Yeah, I think that it's probably all on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's all planned out. You guys can make your own stretches there.
Jimmy's trying to, sell his TV time, and it doesn't. Not the app, but TV time on Albuquerque TV.
Ad space, yes. Right around Murder, She Wrote, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And at the end of it, I guess they manually sign off on how many hours you've done. Jimmy only receives half an hour for the 4 hours that he was there.
And you would think, as the one person who read the entire contract, he would follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't like to follow the rules because he's slipping Jimmy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like...
But can I add something there to this, though? When the car drives by and throws the trash out the window, nobody honks when they do that. Nobody advertises, hey, I'm littering, throw me the $500 fine. They just chuck it out the window.
Mm-hmm. I like how he tried to rally the troops because he has a big perceived injustice, and they're so unimpressed. It's like, dude, are you going to get in the van? Like, come on, like, move it along.
The exact phrase that I wrote. He was trying to rally the troops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of want to interview that guy with the deep-ass voice just to interview that voice.
All right, well, let's try to get him on. I'll try to get him on.
What do you say? Dude, you going to get in the van or what?
That's probably how I sound to people, like, when I want to go places.
Not quite like that. That was, like, cartoonish low.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
More like that you just did.
All right. Before we move on, I love the line, computers are our future. Because it just shows how far back this show is supposed to take place. Kind of pisses off the supervisor. Supervisor offers to strike him the deal of a lifetime, and if he doesn't get in the van and basically shut the fuck up, he'll take us half an hour and make it 0.
Yeah, it could be 0.
We cut to foot massager opening, which is the sexiest of all Better Call Saul openings.
That's right, especially with the bottle of scotch.
Right, there's something kind of unsettling about it. I'm not really sure what it is. It's
the way you relax at the end of a day, your foot massage and drink your scotch.
Are you sure it's not wine?
I'm pretty positive it's not wine.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because apparently I was way off. What I liked about that from last week too is not only did people give me shit for that,
it was kind of relentless.
It was like anywhere you could find our podcast, there was at least one person that had to tell me that, like, dude, you're a dumbass and a scotch. But what made me super happy was that it was 2 comments from YouTube alone.
I'm wondering, is this better than the cactus incident?
I don't know. I guess we're going to have to leave it out there. I like some of them were pretty much just like, dude, it's fucking scotch.
Yeah.
Like I tried to rationalize it. I was being honest. I was like, well, when I was taking notes, I looked up and I thought it was like a really classy wine, but no,
it's a scotch.
Scotch.
Macallan, age 35 years, just like us.
After the opening, we see what I talked about in preview with the prior, which was the preview for our next episode. Jimmy just kind of hauls ass and he takes the whore's bath.
I think I got this one right I said it was like a superhero change from Jimmy to Saul Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. He was changing from Jimmy to Saul Goodman.
Yeah, man, he's keeping a tight.
I like the
timeline.
outfit. I like a military type outfit with like the cap and like it's all like beige and like earth tones.
Well, he's like like Steven Spielberg because like with the vest like from the 1980s,
there you go.
The hat. Right?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
He's like the commandant of the film set, man.
Right, but the appearance is the exact opposite. That like film Saul Goodman is all like earth toned and disguised and incognito, and then lawyer Saul Goodman is flashy and brash and exuberant or whatever you want to call it.
I was hoping though that he would manually affix the fake goatee. I just really enjoyed that about the about the commercial in 306.
Yeah.
Because it was so shittily done.
Everybody loves fake facial hair. Yeah, shittily done fake facial hair.
And because of our family business, I've actually seen that stuff in real life.
Right.
And I actually seen how hard it, and you've worked on sets, so you've probably seen something similar.
No fake facial hair, though.
No?
I did edit a movie where a guy had a fake beard because they reshot a scene after he shaved his beard off, and he had to fall in the water, so he was clutching his beard as he falls in the water. It's pretty fantastic.
Well, which is like a natural reaction. Like, I have a real beard, and when I fall in water, I don't try to save my wallet or my phone. It's always like, beard!
This is what got me the ladies.
It's going to be one of those nights. All right, here we go.
4 pages of notes this time.
Yep. Has a little trouble car starting. Or I guess has trouble starting the car.
There's a lot of foreshadowing going on here. The malpractice insurance phone call, we kind of glossed over that in the trash pickup scene. And then the car troubles. His esteem's running out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Keeping that train going. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
I like it. I like it. We end up at Duke City's recliner.
I want to interview this guy also.
The Duke City recliner guy?
Yeah. It was, I just wrote like, it was super endearing.
Yeah.
His nervousness in front of the camera and stuff. Like, I really felt for the guy. It was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like your average hefty, bearded white guy.
He must do a few podcasts.
But then Jimmy turns into super like producer director. That was cool too. And he's just like, one more, come on, you got this. You know, he just kind of coaxed him into the better performance. The camera's your buddy. You know, think of a friend. Oh yeah, my friend Ron.
I love how his first one didn't seem that bad, especially as far as local.
Right.
And then
it was very Feldco.
Yeah. Or if anybody that remembers this from Chicago, Eagle Man.
Oh god.
Where it's just terribly acted like wow, look at those low rates. Like, but it was like he was given an earnest try, and then Saul, I guess now we can refer to this character of Jimmy's. So Saul is trying to convince him to do another take, and his second take is worse, noticeably worse than the first one.
Right.
It creates an awkward silence, and everybody's like, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. That was great.
I've been on a few sets like that.
I like, sardonic camera guy. I don't know if that character has a name, but the camera guy, he's kind of been cracking me up the last 2 episodes.
He's so salty.
Yeah, his dry delivery, like, oh yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. I don't even know if that's what he said, but it was along those lines. Just really great. Jimmy tries to like sell him on more commercials, and this guy's totally family business, man.
Right.
Like, well, I told you. I'm
impressed with the preparation though, because he's got storyboards drawn up.
Yeah.
And well done too.
Yeah. Hey, it's just a picture of him sitting in the chair, and then the next picture is him with his feet up. Right. So great. so great. That's funny they brought that up because I have it in big circles on my notes. Storyboard and everything.
Well, he's really trying to get, his money back.
Right. He was doing some high pressure sales there too.
He has been ever since the last episode when he was like 15 minutes, you're on the clock. Yeah, that's kind of his approach. The high pressure sales. Doesn't usually work on a lot of people.
No.
Never works on me.
No. That's like my worst thing in the world is it's like I hate shopping with a passion. I've talked about it multiple times because not only is it boring, but it costs money, and therefore it's the worst fucking thing in the world. And my wife, obviously, loves shopping, and I'll go with her. And to me, the most obnoxious thing in the world is when I don't care if we're in Target. For some reason, if somebody comes up in Target, it's like, oh, can I help you? It's like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, it's T-shirts.
You're right.
I don't need your help. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know where I was going with that, but pressure sales, even if it's like minute pressure, like, just leave me the fuck alone.
I've only really had it once, and somebody did. I actually got a car salesman to say to me, what can I do to get you to buy this car today?
Really?
Yes. So I threw him a ridiculously low number that he laughed at. And he's like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, so is what you're doing.
Right, yeah.
So we came to an agreement. I got a great deal on the car eventually. But yeah, high pressure sales are, they make you very uncomfortable. They just make you uncomfortable.
After Duke City recliners, they're divvying out the money.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of setting the tone that Saul is kind of struggling a little bit. Kind of feeling it.
Kind of showing his hand.
Mm-hmm. The crew starts complaining about the money. And Jimmy does some pushback.
Because they have some expenses.
Nice. Look at there. All right. That's 1 point for Dave. Good job. I do like how he goes down through the financial breakdown of giving them all each 100, and then he's
right.
Like,
what his overheads are.
Yeah.
Someone's got to draw those storyboards up, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like permanent markers back then cost all of like 55 cents. But it's not like you can use those more than once.
I meant more like the time. He's putting his time in to draw up the storyboard. Yep. He might even be outsourcing it.
Maybe to Jimmy. Saul Goodman is outsourcing it to Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right. He's double dipping.
Cut to Jim and Kim, or as I like to call him, Jim, doing monthly expenses at the office. Kim is going down how much she paid. I don't think at this point she actually expected Jimmy to pay because she probably didn't think he had any source of income.
That's what the vibe I got. It seemed like they're taking turns, and she was doing, I got this month, you got next month, kind of a deal. But then, yeah, Jimmy.
And he just kind of comes out like, wait, he bought like a couple reams of paper he threw out there.
Yeah. Which that's, what'd she say? It was $120?
2 reams of paper. Yeah, that's about right, man. Yeah. That's actually not a minor expense.
Kind of funny. I learned what a ream of paper was by being an audio intern because I was the one that had to go buy the reams of paper for the printers. I had no idea.
And you have to like carry them. They never have handles, so you have to carry them by the weird yellow strap that cuts into your hand.
Oh, we would take a dolly.
Oh well, I mean, sure, if you want to be like efficient. But Jimmy offers just to pay cash. It's like bam,
out of his
poor man's wallet, the envelope.
Yeah, the bank envelope. She's like, "You're not chapping your account, are you?" Obviously, he is. It's got a bank envelope. He's pulling the money out of.
This is where I think she's starting to get like a little.
There's something going on.
Weary, right? Yeah. I think she's starting to have, at this point.
What the hell am I getting myself into? Thoughts?
Yeah, just like as more time passes, as more time passes, she's starting to kind of reevaluate her situation. Like she may love him, but it's like.
But she's not in love with him. Problems in the bedroom.
Yeah, right, of course. Jimmy even orders Chinese food. She offers to pay. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, that pride. That's all I was thinking. He's like, he's still putting on front.
Which is obviously making Kim uneasy.
Right.
Right? And
she wants honesty. She doesn't want lies. And he's lying.
Yeah. Chinese guy complains about the $1 tip, and Jimmy has to steal. The probation guy, I could make it 0.
Very, very Jeffrey Lebowski of him.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
We do this too much for you.
Yeah. Aggression will not stand, man.
And for those of you that don't know, it's kind of an inside joke. We always remark about how the Big Lebowski, he steals a line that he hears and uses it later in the show.
Yeah. And now everybody that heard that, there's going to be literally thousands of people that are going to be like, we get it, dumbass. We've seen the Big Lebowski.
Maybe you haven't. Maybe you never noticed that.
Pryce Warmald enters the room and surprise, Nacho.
I wrote this down. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit because I wrote Pryce Warmald enters his super fortress, which is the name of the plane, the nickname of the B-29 bomber that causes all the drama in previous episodes.
All right. Two zip. Dave's 2, Brian's with the goose egg. Nacho wants Pryce to grab him these specific pills with that exact marking before they are filled.
What do you think he wants to do with those?
I don't know. But I love how Pryce is still shitty about the baseball cards.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a tough guy, but he's just not a tough guy.
No.
He's like, what the hell? You're like, steal my baseball cards? It's like, dude, let it go, Pryce.
Yeah.
Let it go. I forgot that he had like a scoreboard painted over his couch too.
I forgot. Yeah, all the baseball memorabilia.
It was good to see him again, though.
It really was. I was like, a little excited when I saw him. Like, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, played in real life by one of our guests, Mark Proksch.
That's right.
Yeah, he's been on the show. He was on both Nothing Important And it's all good, man, because I cleverly split the interviews so I could have 2 different interviews on both shows. But it was good to see him. You know, he's been doing other things like Son of Zorn, and he's been on I think it's Last Man on Earth. I've seen him.
He's got a healthy career going.
Yeah, never like the lead guy. He has a new show coming out too.
Nice.
But it's nice to see him return. He was a really fun character, especially.
I kind of forgot about it. It brought back all those memories about all the awkward drug deals he made with Mike.
I also noticed he had a bright yellow watch on, so maybe remember he did the whole he had the bright yellow Hummer and like that was his color.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Maybe that's the one thing he kept after Nacho appropriated his Hummer, the pussy wagon, and he had a bright, like really thick, ridiculous looking watch. So it was really good that he did it, and pretty much Nacho didn't ask. He just told him he was going to do it.
Right.
And
then he says, and then Pryce asks why, and I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
You can maintain your plausible deniability, which Nacho is smart enough not to give him. Then he answers because he knows the dude would just turn on him if anything happened to him.
And he sheepishly asks, like, oh yeah, what if I don't do it? What are you going to do? Break my legs? And he doesn't even give him the satisfaction. He's like, I'll pay you $20,000. Like, get them. Like, that's it. Like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, because Nacho knows he can push him around. Like, he can see through. You know, although Pryce is a pretty intimidating dude. You know, Nacho sees right through that. Back at Mike's house. Meanwhile,
at the Ehrmantraut residence. Here's that whole Breaking Bad money in the floorboard thing again.
Everybody has money in the floorboard. If I ever return to a life of crime, I'm just going to break into people's houses, and for expediency, I'm just going to run through all the closets. And if there's no money, I'll just fucking leave, because that way the worst you can do is like breaking and entering. You know, like because if that's where everybody keeps the money, if you get the money, that's great. But why steal anything else? Because if you get caught, then it's just like, I don't know.
Well, it's like when I visit my friends, they always wonder why I'm kicking their floorboards. I'm checking for a loose one.
Turns out Mike takes the money and he basically bought supplies for the church. What are they doing?
They're building the playground.
They're building a playground, and Mike pours the concrete.
Mike pours the concrete, which honestly I didn't think would be so soon. I didn't think. So there goes my whole thing about hiding evidence in the concrete. I didn't think that was going to be an immediate situation, but yeah, he did like the next day or whatever. He's already
right. But I think a lot of people where they got the whole hiding evidence in the concrete is he's showing basically that he has done this before, because remember it was mentioned he built a carport,
right?
And he poured the concrete slab. So maybe there's something underneath that concrete slab.
Oh, the old concrete slab.
Right, because he had a life before this. So, I mean, it's still possible, because he doesn't finish the concrete slab in this episode. He's got, like, the first
I was under the impression he did the whole thing, though.
Did he? Well, maybe. Well, who knows? The way that they write the show, it might come back that
Although, I really hope he built a ramp, because you notice how the surface was elevated, but there was no ramp to get the wheelbarrow up there.
Yeah, that's not very...
those old people are going to struggle getting that the whole wheelbarrow of concrete up there.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be against some ADA regulation.
I would think so.
American Dental Association. Dentists hate walking up the stairs, especially if it's only like a singular step.
Right.
Yeah. Dentists fucking hate that.
That's what I hear.
I like that the volunteers are kind of very insistent, and Mike is kind of like, it almost seems like he's struggling between like, hey, I'm the nice old guy that donated a lot of money that didn't seem like I should have to build this, and also just kind of leave me alone because I'm the nice old guy that spent a lot of money that seemingly I didn't have to do this.
Well, you guys will just slow me down. Yeah, it's Mike. He gets shit done.
And then we see Anita, a new character, enters the fray.
She looked familiar to me, but maybe I'm thinking about the last time they were at the meeting and the camera was panning around.
May have been.
I think she had taken a particular interest in like Stacy's story or something.
And that's one of those moments where as soon as they showed her, I was like, oh, it's a love interest for Mike.
Yeah, I wrote funny broom moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It was cute.
It's cute.
That's a good way for them to match with.
The whole little the romantic misunderstanding, like, here's a broom. Oh, you're gonna have me sweep? And he's like, no, I'm gonna show you how to texturize concrete.
Yeah, no, baby. I'm gonna show you how to texture. I'm Mike Ehrmantraut. she kind of wanted, like gets the best of him. Because before he was sweeping the lines in, she was just kind of really insistent and takes his trowel.
Yeah, I'm going to do this.
You don't take a man's trowel, man.
No?
You don't do that.
I've never taken a man's trowel.
Exactly.
I'm a man.
Exactly. And it's cute because when, the scene cuts and we pick back up with Mike, he's arriving at work at the booth, and we actually get to see him smile a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to change my note because my note was that he's rubbing his fingers, and I'm thinking he's thinking about Maddie. Mm-hmm. The old, flashing back to building the carport. The concrete reminds him of it. But now I'm thinking he's smiling because he met a lady.
That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
He was just kind of happy that he had some real human, like genuine human interaction. Right? Because in the business that he's in, he has to put up a front. He has to be guarded all the time. He's always one step ahead. And even when the people came and asked him to help with the concrete, he was still kind of being guarded with his walls up. And then, Anita touched his trowel, and all of a sudden Mike's got a smile on his face.
That's one for Brian. Anita touched his trowel. You get a point for that.
Yep. He also notices that Pryce is across the street in a van, seemingly waiting for him, playing his like an LCD Tiger Electronics baseball game.
He's got a thing for baseball, man.
I love. He's like, is this what you consider stealth? And Pryce is like, I never said I was good at this.
Yeah. You got to appreciate the candor.
He wants to rehire Mike as his backup man, his lookout, his enforcer, dude who's got his back.
Yeah, he needs somebody to have his back because Nacho wants his front.
Yeah, but that sounded way funnier to me for some reason.
I just was thinking opposite.
But Mike has none of it. Mike doesn't want it.
No, he doesn't. He no.
And then Pryce is just kind of like, yo, dude, it's because Nacho has re-entered my life. Mike stops. Like, whoa. You can just see it. Mike was just like, OMG, Nacho?
This guy?
Had to turn around, get the scoop, and his advice is basically stay out of it, man.
Yeah, he really tried to talk him into it.
But he can't. Like,
No.
Pryce is like, dude, like.
Nacho's in my house.
Yeah.
He broke into my super fortress.
Right. Which apparently could just be undone by unplugging the phone wire.
Which, okay, so all he has to do is unplug the phone lines to get in. Who plugged him back in once he was inside? Because the system was back online when Pryce got home.
It's a good question.
Plot hole.
Look at you. Maybe that's why the lights were off and he was sitting there in the dark.
No, because Marwell didn't react to the lights being off and they went on as soon as he flipped them on.
I don't understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is Nacho obviously broke in and was sitting there in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Pryce comes home, opens the door, on the alarm.
Yeah, which is online.
Turns on the light, right? So what I'm thinking is that the connection probably isn't instant. He probably unplugged the phone line out back or cut it or something, broke in, like reached out and reconnected it, and then sat down.
Well, then it's a fool of a design to put the connection that close to the window.
Well, yeah,
Well, I was thinking more like maybe he had somebody help, like an assistant.
Maybe he did. Maybe he snuck in and the guy reconnected it to not.
Could have been Arturo. Arturo seems to be his lackey.
Yeah. Try not to arouse suspicion because don't those. I guess if there's no phone line, I was going to say if they have no phone line, aren't they inactive for a while? And then they send a beacon saying we can't connect to this.
I would think that the security company would notice that the phone line had been cut and probably send somebody out there. Plot holes.
Which I've always wondered about security alarms. Anyway,
tearing this whole scene apart.
I'm just saying. I've always wondered about security lines in general, like those, like ADT.
Yeah.
Who is also not going to sponsor me after I say this, but as far as the way I understand it works, if somebody breaks into your house and you have ADT pretty much calls you, and then if they don't get a hold of you, then they call the cops.
Oh yeah. You have like 2 minutes.
Right. So
it's solid 2 minutes to get out of it.
Right. So if I'm coming in to kick down your closets and you have ADT, I have nothing to fear because I'll be long gone before they even think to call the police.
I might have more trouble. You're faster than I am. I'm a little slower. But yeah, I mean, as somebody that would have to work the alarm at a pretty secured facility, yeah, there's time. I mean, you get 30 seconds from the time you open the door just to shut the alarm off.
Mm.
That's right.
You have this timed out?
That's the timer on the.
Oh.
It's the timer on the alarm.
Okay.
You don't put the code in 30 seconds, and the cops get called.
Okay.
And then the cops call you to make sure that
Yeah. Hey,
things
do I
are
gotta
going
show up?
okay. Yeah.
Hey, the alarm
Instead
went
of just showing up, they call you first. They're courteous.
alarm went off. You cool?
Yeah.
Well, nobody answered, so I figured I'd wait another 2 minutes to call back just in case you missed it. What if it's like an answer machine and it's just a cop like, yeah, this is Officer Johnson down at the local police department. So, alarm? Just call, like leaves a long message.
Yeah.
So I was just calling to see if you needed any help. If you do, call me back. Cut to Kim in a parking lot, sets her sweet Motorola phone for a 5-minute snooze. Kim's gonna run down, man.
Yeah, it's this really starting to show the stress that all this is taking on her.
Mm-hmm.
More foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Paige.
But we all know how desperate we can be for that 5-minute nap.
I can't do the nap thing.
Which I like how they edited it to seem like it was instantaneous, because that's what a 5-minute nap feels like. If you do actually get your eyes shut, it is just like, I just shut my eyes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then, Paige, so she meets up with Paige, which I thought this was a little odd. Her whole, like, treating the case as if it were actually a 1990s court TV show. The drama, and she's, like, quoting the transcripts and stuff.
Yeah, like, I get that she wanted to read the transcript because she was, set off a little uneased by their prior conversation. But, again, one of the few instances with the show where I feel like it was a little too on the nose. Where she's like, Magna Carta, who talks like that?
He's chicanery.
Elevator ride.
Well,
and Paige,
she obviously hates Chuck.
yeah. And that's fine. I mean, he's a pompous ass. I just felt it was a little too on the nose. That's all, but that's okay. Once again, they have a TV show. We don't. So that's all right. They can do that. And also, I don't understand how to write narrative. So maybe it was just important to the narrative of the show that they.
Well, it was important to the narrative of the show because you see Kim's reaction to her talking like that.
Right. Oh, yeah,
This starts Kim's whole thing about taking advantage of a sick man.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. So, like, it's just like driving it home, So it's like, yeah.
Which kind of sets Kim into the bad mood, which is when she snaps on Paige for arguing about the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are right. Throws the book, like literally throws the book at her.
So Chuck, that was a Chuck. Like she turned into Chuck.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. I have the same same note, or at least I would have if I would have wrote it down and thought of it. But no, I do remember thinking like, oh, she's become very, very Chuck-like.
Yeah, and like it's another parallelism. She got in an argument over the numbers. She's like, no, these numbers are right, which is more. She's becoming sympathetic towards Chuck, which is what is starting to worry me. She may switch sides.
She pulled it back a little bit. She was stunned by her own reaction.
Yeah, and she immediately apologized. She's so upfront, always upfront, very honorable, very Chuck-like.
Yep. Turns out the way she treated Chuck is eating at her. That's what I wrote down. God, I'm so poignant. So poignant.
You don't get a point for that.
I know. It's still what? Like 3-zip?
1-0. 1-2.
Is it 1-2?
Yeah.
What'd I get 1 for?
I don't remember.
Okay, 1-2.
I gave you pity.
1-2 on the completely arbitrary scoring system.
It's a pity point.
That apparently people like for whatever reason. All right. Again, Jimmy's taking a horse bath. And the whole crew's with him this time. He's like, hey, get in. Just kind of a funny scene because his car will not start. And they decide to take the bus.
Well, here's how I was going to talk. Because the car won't start. When I pull up to pick somebody up and they're just getting in my car, we're leaving, I don't shut my fucking car off. Why did he shut his car off?
Saving gas, man. It's 2001. Gas prices were like $1.25.
Obviously, this is a bad move.
Right.
I don't do that whole shut your car off. If you know your car is going to need to be turned right back on, leave it running.
I do like the boom mic won't fit in the car.
Yeah, that cracks. Yeah, as somebody who has been operating a boom mic lately, it's absolutely cracks me up.
Yeah, rolls down the window and sticks it outside. They decided to take the bus. Good timing, thank God, because the bus pulled up pretty much as they were hauling towards the bus stop.
Convenient.
He yells at somebody to hold the bus, but I'm not sure who he's yelling at. Probably just a random person.
Or in a TV show, I think it's required that you yell, hold the bus. Even if you're on time and the bus isn't even, like, the bus is pulling up and you're not quite there yet, you still yell, hold the bus.
Hold the bus!
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like It reminded me of Kimmy Schmidt season 2, episode 1 with the Amtrak stuff, where it's like they purposely run their trains late so people can have romantic encounters.
Oh, yeah. We're at ABQ in tune.
That's right.
I like the name of that store.
With the Sklar brothers.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Sklar brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I love because they're so well rehearsed and snappy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one of my favorite scenes. Obviously, musician.
Right.
Love the music shop.
Mm-hmm.
Love the strat signed by Richie Blackmore, and then the salty camera guy is like, you mean somebody we've never heard of?
Yeah.
Which I think is genius because Richie Blackmore wrote Smoke on the Water. Mm-hmm. Which is what every guitar player plays at a music shop when they're checking out guitars.
I like how Jimmy's so like he's just like insulted.
Right. These kids don't understand.
Yeah, this new generation doesn't share his.
Yeah. No, they're brick in the wall. Fuck you, dude. That's everybody knows that's the Who.
Yeah.
It's Pink Floyd.
I was going to say, speaking of the wall, do college students still watch that like the first time they smoke weed in a dorm room?
I think it's when you take, I don't know, drugs are harder now, so maybe it's like the first time you take DMT.
Okay. The owners back out, give it a second thought.
Dick move, by the way. You don't back out after the crew arrives. He should have charged him at least an appearance fee, something for wasting his time.
Right.
Come on.
Maybe they wouldn't have paid, though.
They didn't pay. They tried to get out of it.
This is where...
oh, you mean they wouldn't have paid the fee?
Yeah. Get the fuck out of my store, man. But this is where he's kind of starting to lose it a bit.
Mm-hmm. Unravel, if you will.
Yeah, unravel. He's trying to think. He's like, all right. He's really sheepish about it, too. Like,
yeah, he's really swallowing his pride.
Mm-hmm.
His esteem is gone.
Literally.
He had to take the bus.
Nice.
We got a point for that one. Rehashing the same pun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut so much out of this episode.
Offers to do it for free, and he'll get them on the back end when they see more.
Right. He's gambling. He's betting on himself, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I like how he tries to pitch it as, well, if the old people see it, they'll buy recorders for their grandchildren.
We don't sell recorders. Then that's clever, though. I didn't think about that, how much the time slot might affect some people's decisions. Because the recliner guy, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But music store, Granny's not going buying a Richie Blackmore strat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, so this offers for free, says they'll do it down the road, and you have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free lunch.
At that point, all it's going to do is cost them time.
But Jimmy still pays up to the crew.
He does. He's doing right.
Doing right by trying to, anyway.
Yeah, and they start to take notice.
Yeah.
Like, more notice that he's struggling.
Right.
Like, that, you can see it as he's doling it out, like, it's kind of like, he's like wincing. Jimmy's wincing a bit because the bank envelope is getting kind of light. Makeup girl. Does she have a name?
I think it's sound guy, camera guy, and makeup girl, as far as I know.
Okay. Well, makeup girl, very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Offers to give him.
Yeah. She sees he's struggling. She's, she might be on mommy and daddy's bankroll or something, and says, take your money back.
Yeah.
But no, pride.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy leans kind of against the pillar. He just needs to sit for a minute, and looks like he was about ready to cry. Like that whole weight of the world thing where you're just like,
yeah, you guys go on without me. I need to sit here and reflect. I need to ponder.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find a puddle to stare into and ponder.
Maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain. It's getting harder for him to maintain.
It is. He's slipping.
Mm-hmm.
He's slipping, Jimmy.
Nita's at the support group. She's talking about her dead husband and giving his, finally getting rid of his clothes. Says, as a matter of closure, it feels good.
Closure?
I'll give you one for that.
I don't know.
I'll give you one for that. That's okay. We'll have that one. But says it feels good to let go, and it says it's a uniform. She did keep his uniform. Her husband,
Mm-hmm.
Anita, kept her husband's uniform.
Alan. Let's call him Alan.
Alan. Yeah. Sorry. Rest in peace. And Mike kind of perks up a bit.
Yeah,
the uniform catches him.
Yeah, there's definitely he understands.
Yeah, hits home.
Yeah,
hits home. I kind of like how they did this. They cut afterwards, and there's Stacy. She's talking about her daughter's homework and such, and she kind of peers over. She sees Mike chatting up.
Did she refer to Kylie as a he and then a she in the same sentence?
don't know.
I think they might have kept him misspeak into the cut because it was a good take. Because I thought she said he doesn't have this much homework before, and then she says she in a couple words later. I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, if anybody else noticed that, please let us know on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah. But you're talking about the little look she gives?
Yeah, she just kind of sees she's happy, you know, because
it makes miserable.
Yeah, and it's you know probably nice for her to see that he, you know, her father-in-law.
Because we don't know how long Mike's been alone, right?
Right.
I mean, he obviously he sired an offspring at some point, but did they ever talk about his ex, the mother of Mike?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's ever really broached that.
No.
Yeah, he's always just been the lone wolf McQuaid.
And it's just a nice moment. Just a nice moment. And he's talking to Anita, and she says, well, you know, my husband, he was in the Navy. And, you know, they're bonding, which, again, nice to see Mike have, you know, a small portion of happiness.
Right.
In his overall.
Just something real.
Yeah. So that's nice. Which prompts Mike to call Pryce. And he's like, I'm in.
Yeah, and I thought it was when she said it matters knowing what happened. And that seemed to really set Mike on his brain in a path. And I thought it was like, or no, I wrote this note. I said it made me sad that Kaylee never knows what happened to Mike.
Yeah.
Because in Breaking Bad, they're just going to find his body dead, shot at the side of a creek. Kaylee's not going to know really what he was all involved with.
Nice.
That's a downer.
Yeah. Way to ruin the whole vibe. Show's over. Call us idiots. Whatever, just call us. But Mike calls Pryce. He's back in with the shenanigans. Just like that, he's back into it.
Well, he knows that if Pryce doesn't get some help or get out soon, then he's going to end up going on a hiking trip and never being seen again.
Kim and Jimmy are sharing a cigarette outside the office.
Chairs out there now. I noticed that.
They're
not just standing anymore.
Right.
Which means they're probably out there a lot more often, smoking a lot more cigarettes because they're under a lot more stress.
Look at you. Look at you.
Told you, man. I don't know what about these pain pills I'm on, but doing me wonders.
Get a new computer and suddenly you're on top of the world. Jimmy says, let's get out of here. They head to a bar. Is this the same bar where they scam Ken Wins?
I think so. It looked like the same setup. And plus,
see, I thought it was too, and I was kind of hoping that where this was going is that Ken was going to be there again for whatever reason.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah, and it was going to cause some sort of crazy confrontation.
No.
But no, they're just kind of having some drinks. And Jimmy orders drinks and pays for it with a credit card. And they made it a point, again, to show that, like, Kim looked really worried.
Yeah.
Because he was just paying for everything with cash.
He switched credit cards. He says, stop charging this credit card, charge this credit card. And that's when, she's like, what?
Right. So
I'm just spreading my points around.
She has a lot of figuring out to do because, you know, he had all this cash. Now he doesn't. Now he's splitting payment. So it's implying that he's maxing out his credit cards. So Jimmy is really struggling.
He's putting on airs. She's really noticing that, right? He's putting on airs.
Yep.
So Kim starts fantasizing about scams, but Jimmy really wants to pull one.
Why do you think she does that? Is it because
I think it's the excitement she gets from it, but she doesn't really want to go down the route. She just wants to fantasize about it.
I think that was her way of kind of perking them up by bringing up funny memories of their past, where she could kind of see he's kind of struggling, even though he's not asking for any help. You know, she's kind of like, hey, you know, like remember we did this, like a fake dollar bill or whatever the scam.
Yeah.
You know, he was telling her about like the Kevin Costner thing.
Well, then no, Jimmy's like, just, you know, tell him I'm Kevin Costner. You're throwing a party for Kevin Costner. He's still on this Kevin Costner thing. He doesn't look like Kevin Costner.
No.
In a dark room, I wouldn't think he was Kevin Costner.
No.
In a black room.
I wonder if people ever go to Jimmy and be like, hey, you look like Bob Odenkirk. But there's a fat dude acting like a prick over a glass of tequila or vodka or something. He's like,
it was a martini.
Yeah.
And apparently it had gin instead of vodka. And he pulled the whole, I'm an investor. I know your boss. I know your boss's boss.
$15 glass of puke. This turns Jimmy into some sort of scam vigilante.
Yeah. He really starts getting lost.
Right.
Like ire. Like, that guy's a fucking dick and needs to pay for this.
Yeah, he's somehow going to sell him like a credit card for $5,000. And he gets like really intense.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going really deep into how this scam, but he's like licking his chops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's super zoned in and almost like vindictive and angry.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like working it out in his head. And Kim gets really skeeved out by this.
Yeah.
You know,
that's when we're not really doing this, which is the scene from the preview we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was off on that.
Yeah. Right. So like big moment, right? Like like everything in his world is collapsing yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Kim finally fesses up and says, you know, like maybe there was another way.
That's like digging in the dagger at that moment, kind of. Like she's changing the subject to something he really doesn't want to talk about when he's in this bad mood already.
And he put a stop to it. He's like, we did what we have to do.
Yeah, we're done.
Pretty much implying like
everything was his fault, which is totally not true. But you know, he maintains in Jimmy's head, everything's Chuck's fault. Move on. I'm done.
I thought she was gonna leave.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. This was kind of weird. Like I'm kind of writing this out and just seeing where it goes. I'm not feeling too confident about being able to predict where things are gonna go.
I was watching. I'm like, Kim's gonna leave, and this is gonna be some sort of crazy spiral. But then she surprised me. She's like, hey, like starts talking about like scamming people again.
Tries to get his mind off him again.
Yeah, suddenly she's back in. So a lot of internal struggle there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she feels everything going south, but she's in that moment.
Right.
You know, like she's still there. Like
she's trying to keep his head above the water because she senses that he's drowning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But is this maybe it'll get to the point where it's like not even about him, it's about keeping her damn business intact because he's half the tenant, you know?
Yeah.
So she can't just like
a self-preservation thing. Like she wants out, but for other, because there's so many
kind of like Hamlin and Chuck relationship too, you know?
Yeah, they're so interwoven that it's not expedient for one to back out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just makes it complicated.
Get to see Nacho and Mike meet up again, which is nice. It's good to see a nice
reunion.
Yeah,
I like their interactions because Mike's. He kind of looks out for Nacho, but maybe that's more maybe this is like 3 self-preservation relationships going on.
Well, I think because he starts giving advice, right?
Yeah, like, and he hasn't since season 2. He's always making sure Nacho keeps his head.
Well,
literally and figuratively.
I forgot about season 2. I took it as well, maybe you're right. Because I just thought it was weird. Like, he started coaching him up, but, like, not because he really cares about Nacho or has any, just more so it would be better for him if the Salamancas didn't catch into what Nacho was doing so it doesn't fuck up Mike's world.
Yeah.
Like, there's no real, like, sense of looking out for Nacho so much as it is if you kill him.
He's looking out for Nacho for Mike's sake. He's not looking out for Nacho's sake.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it.
Which is all these relationships. Kim's looking out for Jimmy for Kim's sake. Hamlin's looking out for Chuck for Hamlin's sake.
Right. And he brings up a good point. It's like, hey, if he takes the pill, he fucking dies or something, they're going to start looking at, well, what was the variable? The fucking pill. So make sure.
Put that shit back.
Right. Put that shit back. And then I was thinking they could do the classic, like, you know, find a way to hand him a singular pill. But that'd be completely unrealistic because, like, how often does that happen? That would be a cheap cop-out if Hector was like, "And me my pills," and then like Nacho fucking like, "Oh, here's the one pill for whatever reason," right? That would be super obvious too. So I can't wait to see like how Nacho manages to plant the pills.
Huel. Huel picking more pockets. That would be sweet.
Good theory. Not good for a point right now, but you'll get 3 points next week if that happens. I didn't even think of Huel, even though Huel's my boy. I didn't even think of that, but he's
just
in this now.
When you said switch, that's when it hit me. I didn't even think about that during the show.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't happen in a small space, it should be.
It should be fine.
Should be good to go.
I like how Mike checks the gas cap for the tracker, and then.
Did you think they were going to find something there?
I was waiting on that one.
I thought
sure
that he was going to find it, and then Nacho was going to be like, "Holy shit!" Like, you know, and then that was going to lead into a whole different direction. But then when they didn't find it, I'm like, "Oh, fuckers got me." Because he even set it up like, well, maybe you don't know who you're working for. He said
Right.
something
Yeah.
to that
You
effect.
never know who's watching. There's other people you need to worry about other than Hector. Like,
Right. Playing it coy.
Like Gus.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he says, one more thing. Wonder what that one more thing was.
So here's where my connection got a little spotty, and hopefully, Dave, you can walk me through this.
Okay.
Okay. Jimmy's at an insurance company.
The malpractice insurer. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Because for some reason, when I looked at it, between my thing getting all choppy and taking notes, for some reason, at first, I thought he was at like Mesa Verde.
Oh.
And I was like, man, he's just like really being vindictive about this. Like,
Or,
like,
go ahead. Finish your thought.
Like, I was like, he's being really vindictive. Like, they already went through the court case, and he doesn't even get, but he's just going to keep pushing it further.
Okay. I went.
But then he's mentioned something about insurance, and I'm like, where the fuck is he? Like,
Well, I thought he was at a bank getting more money because he's out of money.
Like trying to get a loan?
Right.
Right.
But since I paid attention to the first scene when he calls the malpractice insurance company while he's on the clock for the community service.
I didn't even catch that. Good job.
That's when I realized, he's seeing them in person. He's trying to get this taken care of.
Yeah. They say no refunds for unused time.
That's standard boilerplate.
Yeah, rates are going to increase 150%.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit, right?
Yeah, that's where the shit unravels. That was the straw.
Okay, so then as I'm watching this, and Jimmy starts breaking down, right? Pretty realistic. And I'm like, man, fuck you, Jimmy. There's no way that you're really fucking crying. But then I'm like, but he legitimately looked like he was crying outside of the music store. I'm like, maybe this is fucking real. But then as it got into it, it got a little too, like, not on the nose, but then it became more and more obvious, but it was done in such a way where I'm like, that seems a little odd that he would phrase that like that, and he's having a real breakdown, and then, like, he does the whole thing where he walks out and he smiles as he passes the camera, like, you fuckers got me. Like,
yeah. I mean, obviously, this is all just to get them to take note of Chuck's situation, because they're probably end up raising his malpractice insurance too or whatever. It's going to cause some shit with that. But I looked at it, I was thinking, like, I went back and forth for a minute, but then I realized that he was method acting. He was invoking his real emotions about the situation.
Yeah.
So he really felt that upset about it all, but he used it to gain an ulterior.
Because I think that's how they wrote me in. Like, they wrote me in because he was crying and explaining everything that really happened. There was no bullshit, but then he just kind of got, like, a little out over the edge, so to speak, towards the end there. And I'm like, wait a minute, is he scamming? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then he leaves the office and walks past the camera and smirks. I'm like, fuckers got me. So I'm not really sure what the play there is. I'm not really sure where they're going with that.
He might have been exaggerating some symptoms in adverse interests.
Okay. But I still don't understand what's the play then. The
play was to get her.
He mentions
he wanted the sympathy from her, so she would believe what he says.
Okay.
When he says his brother's mentally ill and still practicing law, because if this is an insurance company that covers law practices, and they don't realize, but now are realizing that on record, somebody lost their shit in trial. That was the word. I think that was when she took note. She's like, he did this in the middle of a court session or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, so this is now a liability. He's making Chuck appear to be a liability.
So is his goal to make Chuck uninsurable?
Probably, or raise his rates or do something to punish Chuck.
Well,
that's vindictive Jimmy, because he's getting fucked in his mind. So he wants to fuck Chuck too by letting the insurance company know that he's a liability.
Right. So if he becomes uninsurable, then effectively would that put him out of practice?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they would do about that.
Maybe a requirement.
All I'm going to say is that something's going to happen. It's going to be something. But
I guess
I don't know the particular end game. I'm not going to try.
Which I guess makes it a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
For the next episode is I'm just trying to figure out what the play is.
They're just getting people to notice. I guess he's just trying to get them to notice that Chuck's mentally ill.
Because if he makes them uninsurable, right, and it's some sort of requirement that they have to have malpractice insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes him uninsurable, that's effectively like kicking him out of the bar. So then,
I don't know about out of the bar, but definitely like it'll affect his relationship with HHM because now HHM has a partner that is they can't get malpractice insurance.
right, and then maybe can't practice law.
Yeah.
So Jimmy only has 12 months of punishment, but Chuck might be like blackballed. He might be out of a job.
Because my only thought was that they were trying to raise his rates, and if it is 150%, well, that's going to affect Chuck quite adversely. He just lost the biggest client. Hamlin's going to be pissed about that because I'm sure the firm pays the rates, so maybe the firm will find him unemployable.
Right, which seems super dark.
Because he's a liability. He's turned himself into a liability by losing his shit in the middle of a courtroom.
Yeah, doesn't that seem super dark though? Doesn't that seem?
Yeah, but that's. Gilligan.
I know there's a lot of.
That's the show.
I know, but even that seems like a really hard turn that way, like that seems even like beyond quote unquote chicanery. Like that's straight up vindictiveness. That's like,
well, Hector Salamanca did shoot a good Samaritan in the head for bringing the driver to him.
Right.
There's some pretty vindictive people going around here.
But I'm talking for Jimmy though, because I know he's kind of.
But I think it's part of the unraveling. He's losing it. He's like past the threshold of pain. Like he doesn't even realize how vicious he's getting. Like so he was talking about the douchebag at the bar. Like that guy was just being an asshole to a waiter. And Jimmy wanted to scam $5,000 off of him.
Right. So he's just, I guess losing touch.
Yeah.
Like letting it consume him. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look there. See, I'm glad we talked through this, Dave.
Yeah. You get a point for that, Brian.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well. Overall, not the most exciting episode, but very intriguing.
Yeah, it's kind of, it feels like the flow, like last week was setting up. This is a little more going on, a little more stuff to think about. There's definitely some changes in attitudes happening. I mean, Kim, this is a big episode for Kim.
Yeah.
That might be the most important character in this episode is her.
And it's only going to get worse on Jimmy's part if he loses Kim.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like that ship hasn't quite sailed yet, but they're definitely pulling up the anchor.
Well, what if, because if it comes back somehow that Kim knows that Jimmy got the insurance company to affect Chuck, well, then she's already sympathizing with Chuck. Mm-hmm. This is going to make her sympathize with him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe Wexler McGill will end up being Kim and Chuck.
That'd be awesome.
Half the building's in darkness.
Like in the lobby, half of it's foil lined. Like there's a
foil curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody sees the wizard.
Like on one side, there's the phone that Francesca answers incoming calls, and on the other side, there's just like a can with a string that goes back to Chuck's office.
Carrier pigeons flying around.
Which is the only way to do it, really.
Really, yeah. Even though they're extinct, but that's okay.
Awesome. Well, what did you guys out there think? Where do you think this is going to go? What did you think of the episode? Where were we wrong?
Did you like the angry smile? Because I definitely noted Jimmy had an angry smile at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like kind of like I got him, like making himself feel like he's
very Popeye of you just now, by the way.
like scorched earth, right? Like, yeah. Maybe that's just where Jimmy's at. Like, fuck it, scorched earth.
Seems to be. I mean, he's going to end up.
We're marching through Atlanta, folks.
That's right.
Through Atlanta, scorched earth.
And he's kind of leaving himself in the dust because he's not going to be Jimmy McGill by the end of this. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a phoenix rising out of the ashes of said scorched earth.
Nice. Much like the hood of a Trans Am in the early 80s.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From the ashes of the Camaro comes a Trans Am.
All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. We know that, or you know that we love your comments, your participation, telling us when we're wrong, telling us when we are right. Mm-hmm. Make sure to check out the Nothing Important podcast for interesting interviews that Dave, I, and our perennial third Mike, Jeff, conduct at nothingimportantpodcast.com. Make sure you Rick and Morty fans to check out A Plummus Among Us, episode 301. And by the time that this comes out, probably 101 is available for your listening pleasure. You can hear me and Jeff talk about the awesome Rick and Morty. Great show. Dave hasn't seen it, but it's a really good show.
I will.
Yeah. And of course, make sure to check us out on Twitter at ISGM Podcast. It's saulgoodman.com, nothingimportantpodcast.com, TV Time app. Make sure you download it on your smartphone store. And thank you for listening to us this week. Man, it's almost over already.
3 more to go.
3 more to go. It's going to be a good ride. So I guess the easy money is next week will be probably setting up Nacho's whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is more of a preview of a prior thing, but I'm going with it anyway.
Okay.
Setting up Nacho's storyline, and then the penultimate episode, which would be 309, kind of where shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm. Usually,
and then the last one will probably, set us up for season 4.
Some sort of bullshit, to quote Owen Benjamin, blue balls fucking hangover. Or cliffhanger. Blue balls cliffhanger.
Maybe it won't take them a year and a half. Time to get back on.
Well, maybe they can get their shooting schedules on point next time.
Keep an eye out for some special guests hitting up at Saul Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple in line. Dave, I'll tell you about it off the air.
Okay, cool.
And with that, Dave,
tweet me directly at PodHostDave. Call us idiots, call us geniuses, whatever. Just call.